So last week I was in New York and I was actually running around the shops, and at some point my partner and we were walking into the big mall which is called Macy's, and we actually passed all of these designer bags, beautiful bags, different brands, different styles, different colors. And do you know how many objections I had? Zero. I didn't ask the salesperson who was selling the designer bags, how much is this? I didn't ask, do you have this in another color? I didn't ask, does it come with a smaller size? Can I return it back? Does it have actually guarantee? Do you have payment plans? Nothing. I just was window shopping, I would say, and then I kept walking. Do you know why? Because I had zero desire to buy a new designer bag. Zero. There was no desire in my mind that I wanted to buy a designer bag in that Macy shop. So I didn't need to overcome an objection. I didn't need more information about that designer bag. I didn't need someone to convince me to buy a bag. I was simply not interested into buying a new one. And this experience made me think about something I see all the time with women of color coaches. You get onto a sales call, right? Your prospect loves the offer, and they are asking you question, they are engaged, and then the prospect is telling you, I need to think about the investment. How does it work with my schedule? I need to talk to my husband, right? Like, you're hearing those objections and immediately you panic. Is that right? Let me know in the comment section. Is that right? You can hear my dog. They are barking a lot. Anyway, you are getting those objections and then you panic. You think that your prospect doesn't want your offer. You think, I got the wrong prospect, my offer is not good enough, my price is too high, I should lower it, I'm terrible at sales, I will never hit my 6 figures peacefully, I will never scale it to 7 figures. And sometimes you actually immediately start backing away, right? Instead of having a challenging conversation with your prospect, you are backing away. Means you are saying, that's completely okay. Like, no pressure at all. Get back to me next week. Take all your time you need. In this video, I want to give you a completely different way of looking at objections today. An objection is the evidence of desire. Write this down. An objection is the evidence of desire. Because people who have absolutely no desire, like me in that Macy job with all the beautiful designer bags to buy, usually don't have many questions about buying. Actually, you can write this down. If you're not getting any objections, that means the prospect is eventually not buying. Okay? Sometimes people, right, they keep walking. They are booking a call with you. They are not giving you any objections. Yes, then they will actually buy, but also they will keep on walking away from your offer. Again, just like I did with all those beautiful designer bags. So I want you to stop hearing that objections automatically mean rejection. It doesn't. It don't. Objections don't automatically mean rejection. And I want you to stop hearing I have a concern as I don't want it. Just because someone has a question, someone has a concern, someone has an objection, doesn't mean immediately that they are saying, I don't want it. Because those are two completely different statements. Because an objection is often simply a question that hasn't been answered yet. An objection is simply a question that hasn't been answered yet by you. Will this work for me? Is it worth it, the investment? Can I even get 5x of the return on investment? Do I have the enough time? Can I trust myself to follow through? Why should I do this now? Is this different from what I have already tried 6 months ago, 1 year ago? Those are buying questions. And those are totally normal because there is enough desire for the person to consider the decision, but there is standing something in between, right? In between, I want this and I am ready to do this. Let's draw it out. Like, you can actually think it like a bridge. The one is saying, I want this, right? The next block is saying, I am ready to do this. And then there is this bridge, right, that you are creating. And the bridge is standing in between of creating that desire. And your job is not to become defensive to create that bridge. Your job is not to convince someone. Your job is to understand the question, understand the objection, and answer that objection. Because again, they have the desire of, I want this, right? And they are ready to do this. What are all the questions that they have in between? This is a great exercise that you can do right now. Like, block 1 is, I want this. Block 2 is, I'm ready to do this. In the middle, there is the bridge. The bridge are, every step on the bridge is a question. What are all the questions? What are all the objections your prospects are having to go from I want this to I'm ready to do this? And if you are a woman of color coach, you're a consultant, you're an industry expert, I know that you are running away from objection. How do I know it? Because I'm a woman of color too, and I was running away from objections too. When I was hearing objection, I panicked. When I was hearing objection, I didn't want to have uncomfortable conversation with the prospect. So I simply said, yeah, you know what? Think about it. Let me get back to me whenever you want. Then nothing. Not only did that prospect ghost me, but now I let that prospect walk away with the desire, but with no strategy, with no coaching to actually get that. So I want to speak specifically right now to women of color coaches here because I think, okay, many of us have learned to interpret resistance as rejection. Comment down below me if that is you. If you think and if you believe that resistance actually feels like a rejection, right? That's why you don't want to be pushy, right? We don't want to make somebody feel uncomfortable. We don't want to have uncomfortable conversation because we are afraid that people will think or that people won't like us. We don't want somebody to think, oh yeah, she's just trying to get my money, my $5,000, right? So the second there is a tension, the second there is like some kind of uncomfortable situation, resistance, we back up, right? Your prospect is saying $5,000 is a lot. Instead of getting curious, right? Instead of you being in your curious sales energy, your brain goes like, I knew it. I knew I was charging too much. $5,000 is too much. Let me charge now $500. Right? Now, your prospect is saying, I need to talk to my husband. Your brain immediately starts to talk to you like, she's not ready. The husband will say no. Right? Or when you are getting, I'm not sure, I don't have the time objection, your brain is going into believing that now you have only wrong, unqualified leads. But what if you stopped making the objection mean something about you? Because when you are literally sitting down with your brain right now, okay, and you are walking through all the objections you got, I want you to watch the sales call evaluation or sales call recording in order to see how your body energy is changing. Every objection you have got so far, you made it something mean about you, about your offer, and about your clients. Right? You automatically felt like that your offer is not good enough, right? You automatically felt like your price is too high. You automatically feels like that the sales call is failing, right? And that the prospect is unqualified. Simply because you are getting those simple objections and you have a whole different perspective of objections. And what I want to change for you today is that it simply means that there is a belief that your prospect needs to resolve before they can actually make a confident decision. Think about it. Before you make a decision, right? There are some blocks in between, some questions that are holding you back from actually saying or from actually making that confident decision. And that is exactly the same happening to your prospect. It simply means that there is a belief that your prospect needs to resolve before they can actually make a confident decision. So let's go back to shopping. When you actually want something, you want that designer bag, okay? What happens? You actually start asking questions. Does it come in the size I want? When can you deliver it? What's the return policy? What if it has a defect? Is there another color? What is included? Can I pay it monthly? Can I pay in full? 8 questions already. And I'm pretty sure there are some more questions going on. Is this actually the brand I want? Is there a better brand? Those questions aren't evidence that you don't want the thing. You still want to shop the bag. Quite often, they are simply the evidence that you are mentally trying to figure out how could this work for me. Write this down. How could this work for me? Is the question you are getting with every single objection your prospect is giving to you. And that's an incredibly different interpretation of an objection. It's a completely different point of view and perspective you can have when it comes to objection. Instead of thinking, oh my God, no, the prospect is resisting, the prospect doesn't want my offer, I'm bad, my offer is bad, my audience is bad, right? You're thinking, interesting. What does the prospect need to understand before they can make this decision? If you're walking away from this video, I really hope that you get this one simple thing, that an objection simply means there is a question. That if you're getting an objection, that means you have created enough desire in your prospect's mind to actually get a confident decision. Don't run away from objections. See objection as the evidence that the offer and the desire is working right now. That is how you are becoming a calm salesperson, because to be honest, you can never avoid objections. When you are a good salesperson and you are creating the desire in your prospect's mind, you are really good at presenting your offer, at pitching your offer, it's totally normal to get the objection at the end because the desire is there. Now it's your job to answer the question. Maybe you are running away from objections because you don't know the answer. What does that mean for you now? It means get better with answering the questions. Get better at knowing about your offer. Get better at knowing about yourself. Get better at knowing about your audience. Simply. That's so simple. And now, this is where messaging comes in, okay? I want to talk this beyond sales call. Okay, this is like a mindset shift you need when it comes to having confident sales call conversation and handling objections in the right way. And inside Leverage 20, we teach you a tool which is called the objection chess game. So when you are getting a question, you know how, as a chess player, you know what the next 2 moves are to win the game. Okay? You know what the next 2-3 questions are on a fly to ask to actually get your prospect to make a good decision for themselves and for the desire. But now I want to talk beyond sales call, because I don't actually want you to wait until the sales call to handle every objection. You can actually already do that beforehand, which is in your content. Your content should be doing the heavy lifting when it comes to handling objection. And this is where messaging really becomes powerful and becomes the driver in handling objections before. If you repeatedly hear the same objection on a sales call, right? And those objections shouldn't actually surprise you anymore, right? But they are giving you hints what you need your content strategy be about. If your prospects are literally telling you, these are the beliefs preventing me from buying, most coaches, they ignore that information, first of all, because you are not doing your evaluation. Second of all, you are not getting the support and the coaching behind it. And then you go back to Instagram asking every single day, what should I post today? For me, that's a red flag. If you're a business owner and you have been in this game for a while and you're asking every single day, what should I post? Red flag, baby boo boo. Okay? You have a lot of data that we can actually use in order to create content that is actually building beliefs to create buyers. Because your sales call already told you what to post. Right? Your sales call already told you what to post. So let's say you're constantly hearing, I don't have the time. Don't wait until your next sales call to explain why your process doesn't require 40 hours a week. Create content about it today. Create a carousel today. Create a reel today. Create a YouTube video today talking about why your approach only needs 10 hours, if that is backed up in data, to actually see the result, right? Talk about why growing your business shouldn't require adding another 20 hours to your calendar. You have to challenge that belief, right? Because I don't have time is a belief, right? It's simply a belief. They believe they don't have the time. They believe your approach is taking a lot of time. So you have to challenge that belief. You have to showcase your perspective, your point of view, and you have to show your clients how implementing your process will get them more time back. Right now, when they are consuming your content, your prospect sees the content before they ever speak to you, before they ever talk out that they don't have the time to you. And that one post created that one belief, and it already had started to change something inside of them. Does it make sense? I really want to help you when it comes to handling objections in your content. If you're watching this right now and you need help when it comes to content and handling objections, let me know right now in the comments what are the most common objections you're hearing. And I don't want to hear, I don't have time, I don't have the money, I need to talk to my husband. Those are very common, but I want you to tell me what are other objections that you're hearing all the time, over and over and over and over again. Let me know in the comments right now, and I'm going to help you and come up with 3 content ideas that you can post in the next 7 days. This is how you will use every sales objections into content and prime your prospects to work with you. Make them ready to actually work with you and to see that that your offer and your approach is completely different than anybody else in this industry. So here are the 3 things I want you to do with every objection you are getting. Okay? First of all, are you ready? Do you have a pen and paper? Stop taking the objection personally. Okay? The first thing is emotional. Separate yourself from the objection. If someone is asking, is it really worth it, $5,000? They didn't say, you are not worth it. They didn't say that, right? They're simply trying to evaluate a decision. That's different. Your job is to remain curious, No matter if you're getting I don't have the money objections. Your job is to remain curious enough to understand what they are actually asking, right? Sometimes it's too expensive. That actually means I don't understand the value. Sometimes it means I genuinely don't have access to money. That actually can also mean I don't trust myself to get the result. That is your prospect thinking behind, which is why you need the chess objection game to uncover what is actually going on in your prospect's mind. Sometimes it means I don't believe this problem is urgent enough to solve it right now. You cannot know when you assume from the beginning. You cannot know that. You don't know until you explore what the prospect is believing behind and underneath it. So don't immediately defend your price. Don't immediately discount your offer, because underneath, you don't know what is going on with the prospect. Always stay calm as the salesperson. Always stay calm. Always, how to say it? Always be in your curious energy and always expect objections. That's the next one I want to say. Always expect objections. If you're doing a great job in your sales call, okay, you are creating the desire, you are pitching your offer in the right way. Expect objections to come. Don't run away from it. Expect objections to come so that you continue to stay calm as the salesperson, so that you keep on being curious and ask more questions to your prospect. Number 2, turn repeated objections into content. I want you to do something after watching this video, okay? Go through your last 5 sales call conversations. Write down every objections you got. Don't judge them, just collect them, okay? Have a Google Doc where you are collecting all the objections that are coming, okay? Then look for the patterns that you are seeing. If 6 people out of the 10 are saying I don't have the time, that actually don't mean 6 objections problem. That's your one messaging opportunity right now, because your audience has the belief about time that your content is not addressing it right now, that your content hasn't challenged them right now. If everyone in your sales call is saying I need to think about it, ask the question to yourself, what are they still uncertain about by the time they reach out and they book a call with me? What are they uncertain about? So have you communicated the value good enough? Have you communicated the cost of staying stuck? Have you shown results? Have you created desire? Have you shown your process and how it's different from everybody else in the industry? Have you helped them to understand why solving this problem matters now? Not in 6 months, now. Because your objections are data, and the data is content opportunity. It's a messaging opportunity for you. They are actually showing you where your messaging has a gap. Are you ready to close that gap? If so, there is a link in the description. Book your sales call with me right now so we can look over the gap and see what you need to fix in your messaging and in your positioning to actually reduce the objection and make sure you know how to address those objections in your content well enough in the next 14 days. Number 3, okay? Number 3, build the buying belief before they are booking a call with you. The biggest one here is that for every objection, you have to ask, what would this person need to believe for this objection to become smaller, for this objection to be answered? If the objection is, I can figure this out on my own, the buying belief might be that support collapses the time, that money loves speed, that coaching is speed. If the objection is, I don't have the time, the buying belief might be the right strategy should remove work and add more time in your calendar back. What is the buying belief they need in order to say yes to the confident decision? Because your job is not to decide what other adults can afford. Again, you are working with adults. Your job is not to make sure if other people or other adults can afford your offer. Your job is to communicate the value clearly enough and let them decide. That's it. if you are hearing the objection, I would do it later, the buying belief is waiting has a cost. People are not aware of the cost. Now, even watching this content, you have probably 5 to 10 content ideas right now. There you have it. Watch this video again, listen to this podcast again, pause it, write everything down, the beliefs and the objections I gave you, and turn it into your niched specific content. And this is what I mean, that messaging is changing what your audience believes. You aren't creating content simply to stay visible. You are actually moving someone closer to a confident buying decision, which is why your messaging is creating buyers. Every single belief you are planting in your content is creating buyers, which is why your content should make the sales call easier. This is what I want for you. This is what I do heavily every single day with my clients inside Leverage 20, with my private clients. Like, when someone discovers you and they are watching your content, then another one, they are literally in your universe. One video handles one belief, another video handles the belief about investment, another video helps them to understand why the problem is urgent now. They are booking a call with you and they are being sold on what you are doing inside your offer. They are not booking a call being surprised on the price. They are not booking a call being surprised on what the problem is you are actually solving for them. So your sales call should not do all the heavy lifting when it comes to handling objection, because your messaging has already been doing the selling. If not, you have to change that first, so that the sales call are not becoming a pain-ass thing to do. Because your content and your messaging is preparing your people to buy. So, next time somebody gives you an objection, I don't want you to immediately think, I lost the sale, I suck at sale. I want you to stay curious. Because remember, the example I gave you in the beginning, me walking through Macy's, there was so many beautiful bags everywhere, literally everywhere, okay? But I asked absolutely nothing because I had no desire to buy a bag in that moment. I wasn't standing there asking, can I have this bag in black? How much is it? Can you hold this until tomorrow? I just walked past it. Why? Again, I had no desire to buy a new designer bag. So when someone is engaged with your offer, they are asking, how would this work for me? I have a 9-to-5 job. How would this work? I'm a mom. How would this work? What if happens? Could I do this? Could I do this as a woman of color? Do you help women of color? Do you help me if I am out of state? Do you help if I am living in Spain? So don't automatically think that an objection is a rejection, okay? It simply means that your prospect has another question. Sometimes you are hearing someone work through the final distance between desire and decision. And I want you to walk away by watching this content and believing that the objection simply means, oh my God, they have the desire. They have the desire. So I hope you see objection in a different way and not where you are panicking, more like, oh my God, give me another objections. I'm ready to handle it. What questions do you have? When you have that kind of perspective, objection becomes so easy to handle, friends. And with the chess objection game, you are becoming a bro. You are becoming a pro when it comes to handling objections. So again, I know as a woman of color coach and consultant, you want to run away the second you are hearing an objection and the second the sales call becomes uncomfortable. An objection doesn't mean your business is failing. It doesn't mean your offer is not amazing. It doesn't mean that you are charging too much. It simply means there is a question attached to the desire and you did a great job. You did a great job so far. Listen to those questions. Listen to those objections. Stay curious, write them down, study them, answer them, and you got the next sale. Thank you so much for joining this video and for watching it. Again, if you feel like you need to work on your objection game, you need to get better at handling those objections in your content prior, I want you to book a call with me now. The link to book a call is in the description. 60 minutes, you and me, we walk through your business, we walk through your marketing and your sales process and see where the gaps are and what you need to fix in the next 90 days to get your next 5 clients in the next 90 days. Thank you so much for watching, for tuning in. I see you in the next video. Bye.